Well, good
It's
morning to
true.
everyone, and welcome to our Mind the Moment's Thursday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them, and then to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our day-to-day lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm always happy to be here. Happy Thursday to everyone. Be here with Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare's mindfulness program. Hi, Tara.
Hello, Suzanne. Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's always nice to be here on Thursday.
Yeah, it's nice to join this group just in general. So it's just a good feeling to join. So we're so happy to have everyone here today. Tara will start us off with sharing a question with the group and then lead us in a guided meditation practice. We usually go about 12 minutes. And after that, we'll have time for questions. So if you can go to the bottom of your screen and open up the chat, and that'll give you a chance to see folks' comments coming in as you can click down the drop-down menu, the blue drop-down menu, showing everyone, and you can see everyone's comments coming in as they share. So, and if you have any general questions about mindfulness meditation, your meditation practice, please go ahead and type them in at any time. So Tara, how would you like to start us off this morning?
Well, so Suzanne and I were talking a little bit before starting just about this day, St. Patrick's Day, and what it evokes for people. So the question is there something that this particular holiday brings up for you? And is there something about that you want to carry into the day? And it could even be, you could share a memory. But what does this day bring up for you? What do you kind of associate St. Patrick's Day with? And is there any part of that you would want to carry into your day today? And Suzanne, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so and Tara and I were talking about this briefly, but when my kids were young, I used to put their breakfast down on St. Patrick's Day, and when they sat down to breakfast, I would pour them their milk, and I would have put green food coloring in their milk so it came out green, and the joy and the laughter that they would have. And even when they went to college, they were like, "Where is my green food coloring?" So I think that evokes some fun and some, a feeling of laughter that I want to bring in today, because it's, we all can use a good laugh every once in a while.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's, so much difficulty globally with Ukraine, and, there's just a lot of volatility and uncertainty, and yet there are ways that we can kind of help regulate the nervous system a bit by finding some moments of joy, some things that, we can think about that we're grateful for, or even just really tapping into a sense of awe and sort of wonder. These are things that we can actually do to help stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us feel more at ease. But for St. Patrick's Day, so my heritage is Irish on both sides. And one of the things that I think about that makes me smile so much is my mother's excitement about St. Patrick's Day. And, I sort of can see her in the house, like getting her green on. And she was a teacher. And so she would always, on a holiday, get especially connected with whatever that holiday was. But for St. Patrick's Day, it was almost like it just brought a lot of joy. And so I associate that with joy.
That's nice. it's nice to have those memories and yeah.
Oh,
So maternal grandma's Irish ancestry. I'm half Irish as well. Spring is almost here. Dancing a jig, being happy. Teaching water aerobics. I love that.
oh, it's so fun to see the mom stuff.
Yeah. The luck side of it is kind of a nice way to think of the day as well.
It is, it is a day that when you say St. Patrick's Day, it brings a smile, right? It just like automatically brings a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love the Irish jig comment, because my Irish grandmother into her 80s would taught me how to do the Irish jig. So she would do it into her 80s. So full of fun.
Yeah, love it. So I'll end the practice today with a really short John O'Donohue. It's not even like a poem. It's more like prose about, sort of wishes for us to carry into the day. But as Suzanne said, we're gonna practice for about 12 minutes or so. So you want to take a seat that is comfortable. Love the clover. And you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And also you can sit or you can stand, whatever. Again, if you're super tired this morning, or if you feel kind of a restlessness, standing is going to help with that. So whatever posture, just take a moment to settle into that posture. And on your own, do two deep breaths. Let that exhalation be longer than the inhalation, so we can stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, which just helps calm the mind and body. So situate your body, do a couple deep breaths. Take a minute to just notice any physical sensations from your activity so far this morning. So just see what the body is offering you. Any kind of pulsing or tingling. Perhaps you're aware of temperature. Take a moment to notice sound in the room that you're in or outside of the room, without making a label of what's making it, but a label more along the lines of that sense of hearing. So just keeping it really simple, hearing. And begin to bring the awareness back inward, allowing sound to remain as it will in the background. Bringing the awareness back in, whole body awareness. And we'll sweep attention through the body. So starting at the top of the head, taking a moment to just bring your awareness down over the face and the sides of the head, the back of the head, coming down over the neck, almost like really warm water, just rolling down now over the shoulders, surrendering the weight of the shoulders and the arms. Bringing attention down over the arms, both the left and the right, including the hands. Bringing awareness now to the torso, so the front of the body and the back of the body, internally. Coming down over the hips and thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the feet, softening and surrendering your weight into the support of the surface. So whether you're sitting or standing, see if you can surrender your weight completely into the support of the earth beneath you, all the while maintaining an upright, engaged posture. So the body is straight, but not stiff, relaxed to the degree that you can. And for the rest of the practice, I'll have you find an anchor for your attention. So that could be your breath sensation. So as you breathe in and out, notice where that breath sensation is easiest for you to connect to. Typically it's nostrils, chest, belly, but it could be somewhere else. And all you're doing really is just receiving the breath in, receiving the breath out, and just tracking that sensation wherever in the body it feels easiest for you to track. As always, you have alternatives. So we're doing a focused concentration practice, which means you want an anchor for attention. If breath is not working for you, you could take the palms of your hands and rest them on your thighs. And just that point of contact, that feeling sensation could be what you return to. You know, the mind is going to wander. Remember, we're not trying to stop it. We're just seeing that when a thought has slipped in unnoticed, just making a soft mental note, thinking, soften the body. There's always a subtle contraction around a thought. So you want to just soften the body and then just return your awareness to that anchor that you're using. Could also be sound. So if you have sound in your background, you can use that to track, just to engage your attention with that particular thing. And pretty soon a thought will come in, you'll notice, soften, and return. And you're doing it right. So I'm going to be silent for a few minutes and I'll check back in. And noticing where the mind is. A soft mental note thinking. Soften the body. And return to whatever you're using to help anchor attention. Noticing where the mind is. Noticing your body. And see if you can soften, release the muscles of the face and drop the shoulders. Surrender your weight. And as you feel ready, if your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and open them. If they were open but gaze down, you can go ahead and pick your head up. And it's always helpful to reorient by just kind of looking around a bit at your surroundings, maybe stretch a little bit.
Thank you, Tara.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was about exactly 12, maybe 13 minutes or so. Again, just giving folks, I think sometimes it's helpful to have a sense of like, how long was that? So it was probably a little closer to 13 minutes. Um, but yeah, would love to hear from people. Any thoughts about how that practice was for you this morning? And I think it's always a good reminder that every practice is different. It's not as if, you know, even when you're practicing for many weeks and months and even years, the practice varies a lot from day to day, depending on kind of what's going on in your life. But over time, you relate to that practice differently. So, you know, you're really getting to see the nature of your mind and with much more clarity, like what you lean into, what you push away. um, and through seeing this over and over and over again, it actually loses some of its hold on us. And so that's why uh, it's helpful to hear the same teachings around this over and over and over again, because it's so layered that as you get underneath the layers, you start to understand it a little bit differently. And in a very simple way, what I think is helpful is to know that when we're doing a more focused awareness, that's really a concentration practice. It's prepping the mind for mindfulness practice, which is more kind of open, spacious, watching it all arise and pass. So, and I feel like that's at the heart of it. We're understanding this concept of change, that every thought, emotion, and body sensation is going to have a birth, it's going to do its thing, and it's going to move. So no matter how, for instance, stuck or contracted we feel, it's just a law that it cannot stay that way. And there's a lot of freedom in seeing that clearly, and that's what we're doing. So there's nothing to believe in blindly. We're actually seeing this clearly. And the only thing that's required is trust that there might be something to this. And all the research points to the daily discipline or daily-ish of doing it to actually start to see those benefits.
Mm.
Yeah, found my mind racing this time, tried to soften other ways to help a racing mind. Yeah, so there's a few things. One is movement practice is really good if you find yourself just like overwhelmed with a busy mind, to do like a walking meditation practice, to go outside and use sound as a practice. Those are also helpful. I would also encourage watching if there's a lot of resistance and wanting it to be different, and see if you can just allow for the busy mind with less of a narrative of that it's problematic. You know, it's more, oh, busy mind. Can I observe it? You know, can I, as if I was on a riverbank watching things go by? So you don't even have to like try to make it different. And sometimes that can counter what you actually would like to have happen. And see, almost like even allow, just allow a busy mind. Allow, how does the busy mind manifest physically? Can I feel the physicality of this busy mind? It's just busy mind. So I hope that helps, Teresa. It's, all of this is, we are like scientists and the subject. So we're testing out a few different things.
Yeah. To what Tara's mentioned, I like the movement practice, Teresa, and also just standing, because I feel like standing makes us, we really have to kind of balance. So we find that we're paying attention to our bodies more, and we can get out of our head a little bit.
Yeah.
And bring, I feel like when I'm standing, I bring a lot of sensations to my feet, and they say being farther away from your head can be really helpful.
Yeah. So there's like a menu of techniques to try. You know, you've got options for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you mentioned, Tara, about, there's something about, I'm here with you every Thursday.
Yeah.
And there, are many things that you've mentioned a few times, and it's never too many times for me. And I've been practicing not as long as you, but I've been practicing a while.
Yep.
There's something about this practice, and it's called a practice because it's always changing, and it's so
well,
never hear it too much.
Yeah, and I think there are other things in life where it's like you learn it, you don't have to keep getting that same lesson again.
Mm-hmm.
But over the years of working with teachers at the Insight Meditation Society, which is where I've been practicing for close to 25 years, I hear the same thing over and over and over and over. And I, like you, Suzanne, don't tire of it. There's always a freshness to it. I never tire of hearing that. And I think because this practice is simple but not easy, it's almost encouraging, to me. And I also, things land differently than they would have 5 years ago or 10 years ago, because the more you practice, you start to understand it a little differently. Yeah.
So true. And, knowing that it's spring, I think we feel like we're anticipating, it's part of the season as well that we're anticipating.
Yeah.
Just knowing that everybody else feels a very similar way, in the fact that, busy mind it's there, and tomorrow, like we said, tomorrow could be totally different, but it's okay.
Yeah, I think to underscore what you just said, Suzanne, I agree. And I also I think what happens is sometimes folks think they're alone with their busy mind. People will sometimes say, oh, I can't practice because I just can't shut this off. So there's that unfortunate misconception that we're supposed to have a clear mind, which is very unfortunate because it's just not true. But I know I've said this before, but it's worth saying again that I felt like there was some pivotal moment when I was, learning these practices where I thought, oh, I'm actually learning the nature of minds, plural. My content's different than, say, yours, Suzanne, because our situations were different, our upbringings were different, all of that. But we are all the same. Everybody has this busy mind where the mind is just pumping out thought that you're not trying to make happen, unless you're working deliberately on a project or something where you're focusing, but thoughts slip in unnoticed. This is universal. This isn't just me or you, or this is universal. And, watching how we get hooked by thoughts, how we believe thoughts. And sometimes I can wake up in the morning and go, I know I'm supposed to be worried about something because I was yesterday, but I don't know what it is now. We give thoughts a lot of power and credence, and yet, we can bring some humor to it too, because these things can really grab onto us, but to remember that they have a transitory nature, that. And I think what happens in time is you cultivate a more discriminating wisdom. These are things to pay attention to, but these are junk thoughts. These are valuable, important thoughts, but these are mind habits that aren't useful. And you can name that, and that also helps soften.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I sometimes picture my thought shelf. Like I have a shelf that, okay, it's time to put that up on the shelf. If it's there when I finish, then it was important. If it's not, then
Yeah, that's great, Suzanne. That's
then it's,
great.
something that just.
I also want to comment on what Teresa is saying here. I was resisting and wanting the busy mind to go away. Yes, right? Like, that's such a good thing to see. And as soon as you see that you're trying to make something happen other than what is actually happening, you have an opportunity to just reset and just receive. So it can sound counterintuitive because the busy mind is so darn unpleasant. It's just unpleasant. But that's really all it is. It's just unpleasant. And we have the capacity to be with the unpleasantness. So the resistance adds like an unnecessary extra layer of unpleasantness because resistance isn't fun. So we drop the resistance and we go just to that thing, busy mind in this case, feel the physicality of the body, stand as Suzanne's saying, and feel the physicality in the body. And hang out with that for a bit until you feel you can go back to an anchor, whether it's sound or a different body sensation.
Yeah.
I'm happy, like, if anybody wants to like have another alternative idea or whatever, always feel free to ask a question, contribute, agree, disagree. It's all good.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Are we at
time? And one sitting at a time, right?
Oh, can I just read this John O'Donohue quickly? So, may I live this day compassionate of heart, clear in word, gracious in awareness, courageous in thought, and generous in love. That's John O'Donohue. So may it be so.
Yes. Good blessings and good thoughts and wishes to everybody today as we continue on in spring and St. Patty's Day. So
the time goes so quickly.
Yeah, it does. See you all soon, and we'll see you next week.